I present to you Dark Souls or Love Nikki. Can you tell which item description lines are from the Dark Souls trilogy and which ones are from Love Nikki Dress Up Queen? Well, I do consider myself a Love Nikki Dress Up Queen expert. However, I have never played Dark Souls in my life. Let's see how I do. By the way, thank you so much Shattered Earth for tweeting this out. And thank you so much Scaling Triangle for making this quiz for our entertainment. Vivi, gaming, and let's start quiz. What is dark? Perhaps we already know. We fear the dark, yet find solace in it. That seems like a Dark Soul because it talks about the dark. Yeah. All right. The Forsaken will grant this world one last delight. The Forsaken, is that a Dark Souls thing? What? That's Love Nikki? Oh my gosh. Okay. I see what we're getting into right now. Dude, they're like picking the darkest lines from Love Nikki to throw us off. A hatred has never twisted our hearts, but what have done what can never bite our people. What? Does this even make sense? Huh. I feel like if something is poorly translated because Love Nikki is a Chinese game, then it would be Love Nikki. Yeah, Love Nikki is full of like poorly translated words, so has to be. Yeah, Mark of Courage! She received this helm which hides her hideous form and helped her hunt the guilty. Okay. Love Nikki is not about hunting. Has to be Dark Souls. Oh, yeah, there you go. The Master of the Night walks in silence, leaving footprints in snow where no one can see. Dark Souls, the Messenger of the Night. Is that a Love Nikki thing? I feel like that's a Dark Soul. Signs at night? Okay, this is a lot harder than I expected. Small white flowers do blossom during the dusk when the moon is visible. Blossom during the dusk. Dark Souls. Yeah, there you go. Perhaps the screams emanating from cells help them forget their old home. Dark Souls. Yeah, there you go. The first light of her disappeared, but the fire. This is like poorly translated. Love Nikki 100%. Boom. On the brink of death, I see my broken flesh. I stretch out my hands only to grasp nothingness. I think I've read this before. The broken flesh part. I think I've read this before in Love Nikki. Yeah, there you go. The curse made her tremble in fear. The bloodstained hand made her dazed, but she felt redeemed inside. She? That seems like a suit item in Love Nikki. Yeah, there you go. Bandage of redemption. Yet Men of the Sun can neither manipulate or sense his power. Dark Souls, because they talk about men, and Love Nikki, main character, is a grill. Her skin is ripped open by thorns and blood that fell on the barren earth. Oh, Love Nikki is not this violent. It has to be Dark Souls. This is the violence of Love Nikki. What? All things are rooted in soul, but what drives our thirst for them? Dark Souls, because souls. Yeah. Good. Every life is happenstance, but it's also the glimpse of eternal place that on earth stop between. This looks like poorly translated. It has to be Love Nikki. Yeah, I get it right now. Anything that's poorly translated, Love Nikki. I don't know which region Dark Souls is from, but I would assume that they have better translations than Love Nikki do. The Child of Dragon, sequestered away from the world. Imagine a world of boundless possibilities from mere sight of feather. There are dragons in Love Nikki, but the Child of Dragon. Is there a Child of Dragon in Love Nikki? I'm leaning towards Dark Soul. There you go. Masters of techniques are said to dazzle their opponents by moving as weightlessly as the grain of sand. I just realized there are 96 questions on here. What the? This is so long. Masters of techniques dazzle their by moving as weightlessly as grain of sands. Masters of technique. Love Nikki. No! Ambition is ruined by evil and destruction by spilling betrayer's blood. She confronts the souls of the dead. Dark Souls. No, that's a Love Nikki item. Eventually, they have forgotten. They drag the victim off to who knows where. Dark Soul. I don't think Love Nikki would say who knows where. There you go. Everything in history will turn to dust, but only the great souls and time will exist forever. This is Dark Souls. Crimson Aria item for Love Nikki. If one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it is time for good old-fashioned greed. Dark Souls. Yeah, I don't think Love Nikki really talks about greed. The Mirage Aurora Veil is said to be an article of old gods, permitted only for direct descendants of the old royal family. Dark Souls? I just don't feel like that's a Love Nikki thing. Most of these I don't feel like it's a Love Nikki thing. Not everyone can walk on the road of light. Some will move forward in mud and become pioneers of the mud. Dark Souls. Did I click next? Whoa! There's mud in Love Nikki. A philosophy to ward away the madness, beckon the grotesqueries ahead. Dark Souls. Big words. Yeah, big words. Dark Souls. The dark chasm of old is the remnant of some ancient dissipated being. Dark Souls. There. The lad's eyes are dipped with blood, filled with madness. Lad. I don't think they would use lad in Love Nikki. Dark Souls. Do what you must. Get her to pieces, scraping in some semblance of a hole before the will to do so fades. Dark Souls? Yeah. Fortune and treasure tempted people like an abyss. Love Nikki. Yeah, it just, the translation don't make sense. In the night when she was deserted by the world, she cut her fingers and chanted the spell. She? Love Nikki? There you go. There was a dark period in history when land was swallowed by night and light sank into abyss. Love Nikki. Yeah. A fire exhibits a connection to the curse, and when the flame grows stronger, so does the curse. Is this a Love Nikki fire suit? No, it's not. In the end, the dream chasers who wander aimlessly in the rotted forest found a sense of fulfillment. Dark Souls. Yeah. A bird was born from fire with insatiable taste. It kept devouring fire and eventually became fire itself. Is that... There's no firebird item in Love Nikki, I think. Oh, there it is! Oh, wait. Don't tell me this is 4 gods. Who was the knight and what was his purpose? There may be no answers, but one must still forge ahead. Is this the night item in Love Nikki? I know. Her flesh is flame, providing light and warmth. Her flesh is flame. Love Nikki. Yeah. It is thought her great virtues was matched only by her sublime beauty. But who can say now? Who can say now? Let's say Dark Souls. Yeah. Sight blurred, voice dumbed, and the collapsed body tinted red by the moon. Who am I? What have I become? I don't think Love Nikki would translate something like that. Oh, it is Love Nikki! This is hard. The quivering body, a pitiful face, the scared eyes, and the desperate soul. Dark Souls. That's Love Nikki. For the citizens whose own life is taken at stake, the greatest liability is one's exposed back. Dark Souls. Yeah. Be they king or peasant, wise or dull, rich or poor, the warden treats them all with the same care. This seems like a Dark Souls storyline. Yeah. Without the master, there's no pupil. Without pupil, there is no master. Don't seem like a Love Nikki thing. Yeah. During the solitude, he forsook everything, for he believed in Goddess love. Forsook? Love Nikki. What's going on? Who intends to manipulate the insatiable desires of humans will eventually be swallowed up by them. Dark Souls. What? This is so crazy. I did not know Love Nikki was such a dark game. On the night of the blood moon, Love Nikki, not even reading the rest. There you go. Those who have taste of dark are drawn into his vortex and rarely return. Dark Souls, correct. When the hands of death pass the rose is shrouded in blackness. Seems like a Love Nikki thing. Yeah. Jesters are more than festival fixtures. Some have a second face, hidden from public view. Dark Souls, English too good. In his dream, he perceived a form of young, pale girl in hiding. They're talking about he and Love Nikki's about a girl. Dark Souls. It is common to hear of a peasant's dream striving for knighthood as an escape from hardship. But who would ever think it's possible? Makes no sense. Love Nikki. Oh, darn. Now she becomes divine yet all alone again. That's way too dark to be. What? And how does Love Nikki? Death is not the end. Forgetting is. Dark Souls. That's Love Nikki too? Wake up in a millenary dream. The swords lose the aura of solemnity. Big words. Dark Soul. That's what oh my gosh. This is so crazy. The sperm child abyss never dies, but phases in and out of its fringes. Dark Souls. Yeah. She left nothing but the legend, which passed down in honor of her memories. Love Nikki? Because to talk of memories? Yeah. Perhaps it is rooted by older memory, but not long after the beginning. The beginning with a capital B. Let's say Love Nikki. No. However, when war began, the painting went unfinished. What painting? There are a bunch of paintings in Love Nikki. Yeah. Even the collective wisdom of Melfian magic cannot pull out magic out of the skies, but the ideas of astrologists led to creation of new... What is this? Melfian? Is this a Love Nikki thing? No! A beautiful butterfly to the fire, to the flame. The flame licks her fragile legs. Dark Souls. No, moth to fire. Yeah, I should have picked Love Nikki. Our deed will come back to us in some form or another, both good or bad. Dark Souls. Yeah. She saw tears of corpse, the smiles of bones, and she will see the birth of a new lord. Not Love Nikki. Can't be Love Nikki. It is Love Nikki. He marched in one direction, and the direction was dead ahead. Did you see him passing by? Dark Souls. They rarely talk about guys in Love Nikki. Yeah. Pale moonlight falls in front of the coffin. The night winds blows, dyes red, white. I know this word from Love Nikki. There you go. Even so, pleasant memories are crucial to survival and arduous journeys. What? Pleasant memories? I would say Love Nikki. Fickle queen gave them life and tore off their faces. How else could she forgive those who dared gaze upon her? Too dark to be Love Nikki. The god of dragon lies on the mountains, looking up at the eternally unchanged sky, looking solemnly. Seems like Love Nikki English. If it is tranquility that you seek, then you should have not left your home. Dark Souls, I think? Yeah. It's not betrayal of faith, but a rebirth after a long journey. Love Nikki. Yeah. The darkness that flows from a human heart is deeper than the night. On the coldest night, the temple collapsed. Seems like a Love Nikki thing. Yeah. Stared at it for long and it seems ready to spring to life, but surely such is an illusion. Dark Souls, yeah. The English is too good to be Love Nikki. The will feels envy or perhaps love, and despite inevitable trite and tragic ending, the will sees no alternative and is driven madly towards its target. That looks like Love Nikki English. Dark Souls. Gleaming came to the dark dungeon. The girl in the cage exposed an imperceptible smile, blowing out the candlelight. Is there a cage and candlelight item together? Let's say Dark Souls. No, dude. The sacrifice is only as much as the life it spares. Love Nikki don't really sacrifice, right? Yeah. The most cold-blooded god covered the eyes of the sleepless with... It's a big word. Let's say Dark Souls. Oh my gosh, that's a Love Nikki. The flame reveals all and obscures all. Dark Souls. Yeah. Fear manifests itself into boundless darkness. Dark Souls? No, that shackle of nightmare Love Nikki item. In the infinite darkness, they wait day after day for a miracle to come. Oh, Love Nikki. Has to be. Yeah. Yeah, in the darkness lies the unknown, and people have an innate fear of the unknown. Dark souls. What the? The safest method, however stressful, is to cut off the arm of. Oh, way too dark to be Love Nikki. There you go. Some give up, others stay silent, muddled along, and wait for death. Way too dark to be Love Nikki. That is Love Nikki. And now the shard remains, serving as a vestige of their hopes and dreams. Love Nikki. Oh gosh, I'm so failing this. The past sorrows can't be hidden by its raging world. The past sorrow can't be raging world? Why is the world raging? Love Nikki. The reign of death toppled the city, but restored the dragon's purity. Dragon. The reign of death. There are dragons in Love Nikki. There is something of a purity suit. Let's say Love Nikki. Oh gosh. But we would never know for sure, for Suit and Ash tells no story. Dark Souls! Yeah. All people in the world are born to die to defend their faith. What the? It can't be Love Nikki. It stares to heaven. Jesus! Our prophets do not care about the life and death because their story will not be recorded by fate. Seems like a Dark Soul thing. That's Love Nikki too! This child of dark, in reverence of the apocalypse, devotes herself to a ritual in hopes of appeasing the raging flames. Has to be Dark Souls! Yeah, there you go. They believe that once a soul was lost, they could never see the splendor of heaven. Is splendor of heaven a Love Nikki item? Let's say Love Nikki, yeah. Swift like wind and intangible like the moonlight. Nobody ever saw her face under the mask. Love Nikki, yeah. In the first light in people's heart, born in prayer, and then fading into oblivion. Love Nikki! Yeah, but what is enchanting can also be deadly, especially when clothed in such alluring garb. Oh, are you trying to throw me off here? Love Nikki don't call clothes garbs. Dark Souls. There! Finally getting the hang of it, but I'm almost done. Someone said that each departed soul turns into a star. Perhaps they will start a new reincarnation in a distant place. Stars. I would say Love Nikki. Yeah. The king used it to create iron soldiers and an iron castle. Legend has it he even tried his hands at forging a dragon out of iron. Love Nikki ain't about forging like that. Yeah. If the souls is the source of all life, then what distinction is left for humanity? Dark Souls. Yeah, he cares not for the flame or fortune. He is always on the road. Though a corner of his heart is empty. Dark Souls. What? There is no existence more promised to eternal than time. Love Nikki. Yep. She braved the abyss, but did not live to tell her ordeal. Too dark to be Love Nikki. Yeah. But the scythe of death is still reaping recklessly. Let's say love. Wait, there's only like one scythe item in Love Nikki. Dark Souls. 62%. Wow. If someone told you Artorias the Abyssal Walker was in the Iron Rose Dallas Legion, you'd probably believe it. Are you insulting me? Anyway, I'm gonna link this quiz in the description below. How do you compare? Here's the results compared to others. I'm average! Yeah! Oh man, only 9 people got it perfect, got an A. Oh man, yeah, this quiz is so hard. Oh, yay for being average then. Alright, that's subscriber. I'll delete your Love Nikki account. Peace.